Hey everyone, Brian Zane here with a special edition of Getting Into the Biz. A lot of you have been asking me, how do I become a referee? What's it like to be a referee in professional wrestling? Well, here I have, in the pinstripes himself, Sparkey Ballard. He's a referee here in California. He's worked for JCW. He worked the Hulkamania Tour in Australia. He's an 8-year veteran of refereeing, and I'm happy to have him here on the show. Sparky, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Zane.
So the first question I have, how did it all begin? How did you break into the wrestling business as a referee?
I broke into the wrestling business in 2007 when I joined the All Pro Wrestling Boot Camp in Hayward. I trained for a good 7 months where they taught me my bumps and the psychology, hand signals, and just gave me a lot of good experience to be successful when they finally gave me my debut match in 2008 of February.
So when you referee, it's not quite as easy as just counting 1, 2, 3, right? There's more to it than that.
Oh, there's definitely a lot more to it. You have to, basically, you set the tone of the realism in the pro wrestling match. You got to go in there with a serious temperament. Basically, you are the one that makes the rules believable. Because if you don't enforce the rules, then the fans don't see they get lost in what's happening because the ref's not doing his job. So a good ref is really on top of what's happening. Basically, a lot of it's just improv of reacting to what you see, but it's also about being proactive, not just reactive. It's all about a lot about the follow-up. You can't just tell a guy to get out of the corner. You got to go and check to make sure the guy's okay. It's we're there to make sure that they fight fair and that everybody goes home safe. That's our number one priority. And basically also just making sure that we have a good, clean, fun match.
So talk about the balance for a referee between more or less being invisible, because for the most part the referee's not supposed to distract from the actual wrestler. So talk about the balance between that and also trying to assert your authority when you have to get in the corner and you have to be vocal at times. Like, is that a difficult thing to balance?
Every match has a happy medium of too much and not enough, and you really just through experience find that to be able to walk that line. You don't want to be too overly aggressive on stuff, but you still want to assert yourself. Basically, you want to stay out of their way. That's a big part of being a good referee, is just making sure you're not in their way. There's definitely some techniques to give yourself that advantage as far as like when you're watching a match, making sure like you're in stealing the baseball, stealing the base type stance, so that way you're quickly able to move one way or the other rather than planning yourself. And just kind of making sure that you're not in front of the hard cam, and making sure that you're working the horseshoe and staying off to the side so people can see the emotion of the struggle that the wrestlers are going through.
Is it okay for referees to have kind of a trademark thing? Because I mean, some referees, historically, some referees have very unique shoes, or some have they'll sell along with the wrestler. I mean, is it okay for referees to have that, or do you think it should be kept to a minimum?
I think that every promotion has its platform or the presentation of what they want. Like Hood Slam has El Sparka, who's a mass referee. They also have Guido, who has liberties in the ring that he likes to do. There's the La Migra referee, Sparkey Ballard at Revolution, who's really one-sided against the luchadors. And then there's being traditional. But each promotion has a different platform where I feel it is appropriate or it isn't appropriate, and it's just a matter of understanding where you're at and knowing, are we trying to go a little bit more comedy, character gimmicky style? Are we trying to go more traditional and MMA style, real shooty, or even like lucha libre, where the rules are a little bit more laxed and they can go any direction they want.
Can someone start out as a referee with no prior experience of wrestling and bumping? Do you think it's okay to start out like that, or does it really help?
I think a lot of people can imitate what they see, but I think it's a lot of the understanding of the follow-up and why am I doing this, and knowing how to bump is really important, because one, referees do get in the way. It's a big part of a storyline sometimes when the ref isn't seeing something because he's been knocked out. But if a ref doesn't know how to do that, then he can't add that to the match. And I feel it's really important that, one, they also respect what the wrestlers are going through and understanding what a bump feels like. So I do really feel it's important that they know how to bump, and I do feel it's important to understand the psychology and what goes on more than just 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's not about the count, it's also about the emotion and the follow-up that goes into it.
Is it okay for referees to have input into how a match goes? Because I mean, sometimes in the back, the wrestlers will go over spots and stuff. I mean, how many times have you contributed to like the finish of a match or like the story being told in the match? Is that something that referees, it's okay for them to do?
I think it's a matter of knowing your place. If you're asked, I would give suggestions. Otherwise, I feel like I'm there to enhance what they want to do. If there's ideas that I feel that could protect myself as a referee because they want to head hook me and say, hey, look over there, and I can come up with a more of an idea that they're outsmarting me by doing my job rather than treating me stupid, I will give those type of suggestions. Otherwise, I'm just there to get them to their finish line and do that in the most believable manner. That's kind of what I go into it. If they ask my input, I'll give it though.
So there you heard it from the referee's mouth himself. If you want to know what it's like to be a referee in professional wrestling, this guy had the answers for you. I hope you were paying attention. Be on the lookout for more Getting Into the Biz videos in the future. But thank you, Sparky, for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. So be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, comment below, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and don't forget to buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. For Sparkey Ballard, I'm Brian Zane. I'll see you next time.